Everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanvi, and as you all know, I started a podcast series where I invite guests on my channel to share their experience in the domain of software engineering. So this is the fifth video, and I'm having a very special guest. His name is Jaspinder, and he's the founder at S30. And I'm very glad to have you here. Thank you so much for your time. So, very quick introduction about him is he's an instructor and founder at S30. S30 is basically a platform for training for the interviews, and they'll prepare for DSA, system design, data engineering, end to end. And we'll talk more about S30. But before that, let's a quick question to Jaspinder. How are you feeling?
I am feeling awesome, even better that I'm in conversation with you. You have been my ex-student also, so
Yeah.
lovely being here.
So yeah, so for a quick info, I have taken the classes at S30 and he was my instructor and mentor, and it was a great experience. So the first question I have for you for this today's podcast is, how you feel is the market over here? Like there are a lot of questions like student asked to me, like since you are in India and you have been to US as well, which market, whether one should come to US or not. So what is your opinion on that right now,
So,
looking the current job market?
I'll cover this question into two parts. One is coming to US in general for your higher studies, and current coming in the current situation.
Yeah.
So both are really interesting scenarios. So I'm a big believer that you should be going to a place where you get to work the best kind of on the best kind of things that you can work. So India has great potential, but the US market is much more mature. So if you see most of the product companies which are coming out, they are coming from US, and even from the existing product companies, the kind of work that is happening in US versus the kind of work which is happening in India, there is a big difference.
Yeah.
Um, so I always recommend that if you want to work on the cutting edge things in tech, then you should be in US.
Mhm.
That is first part. The second part is, from last 2, 3 years, the market has been tough in
Yeah.
US, especially because of a lot of layoffs and nobody was hiring. But it has changed. Last year it was that India market was hiring much better than that of US market, and that happened. But now there is a rebound. Now all the good tech companies, for example, Amazon and Meta, are on hiring spree right now. We had a lot of success over there in last few months. Uh, and the things are expected to even become better because January is the time when a lot of hiring budgets are announced in US. So most of the budgets will be announced by end of January, and from February we'll again see a bounce back in hiring, and it may not be as much as that of just after the COVID. It was like crazy kind of hiring after during the COVID and after the COVID, but still it will be. I think it will be to the normal levels of hiring once again.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, of course. And it's always like if you really work hard, you will get something. It's the game of numbers. Even
That's absolutely correct. Even in the tough market, the students who have been, you know, I have I'm talking to you. You had an internship during those tough markets itself. So if you are working hard and you are really well prepared, then you will get the opportunity. That's for
yeah.
sure.
And you have come from a different background to CS. So could you please share your journey, and if someone has to start from the scratch to the coding world or the software engineering domain, how they can start? So yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I come from very unconventional background. I went to a good school, NIT Calicut, where I was studying mechanical engineering, not computer science. I did mechanical engineering over there, And then after that, I went to army, where I didn't do any technical kind of thing. I was in the action only. So 6, 7 years in army, and then I left army and I did my MBA actually, not computer science. Again, I was working in Valley, Silicon Valley. Then I came to Bangalore, and I was working with a couple of startups, and I was doing VP operations over there. But that knack of computer science was always there in me, from first year of my engineering, and I somehow found myself doing the things. Even when I was in army, I was developing some of the products, and when I became a VP operations, I was writing Python scripts to automate my operations. So somewhere always I was passionate about computer science. Then I took a call that I'll follow my passion and I'll go. 2017 I got into an organized kind of learning, firstly by myself. Then I joined a school, a boot camp in US. It's called at that time it was called Lambda School. So yeah, so that's how I made a switch. And if somebody wants to make that kind of switch from scratch, at that at the expense of sounding a little cautious about these things, the rate of success is very low if you are making a change.
Yeah.
So if I see a lot of if 100 people had started making a switch to computer science, then hardly 5 or 6 have succeeded
Mm.
in our batch. So I will recommend against it. I will recommend that you go for engineering at your bachelor's level only. But if you want to go ahead with this, then you have to work your skin out. There is no
Mm.
other way, and you have to be ready for multiple failures, multiple rejections, and not multiple rejections, rejection over years. It- it's an interesting story. Even if I apply right now to any of the FANG companies, there is a good chance that they will just look at my resume and they'll see no computer science degree at the bachelor's level or master's
Mm.
level, and they will be thinking twice to call me for an interview.
So yeah, it's
So
it's always a
that's
trade-off what you like and what you in which domain you are. So it's always a trade-off. Like you're following your passion, but not everyone can do that. So
that's
it's
true. That's
yeah.
absolutely true.
So even for me also, I am interested in other domains, but yeah, this is one that is paying also.
Yeah. Just going on a tangent a little bit about the passion thing. So, passion is good. It can give you an initial motivation, but
But
that
long
motivation
term.
is exhaustive and it
Mm.
goes away after 3 months or 4 months of repeat failures. The motivation goes away and your passion is nowhere. It's actually the discipline. Actually that goes far. So, I think you can follow your passion on the side also.
Yeah, yeah. I just once this thing will be on like track, this job and all, then side by side. I have given a thought about it. Okay, let's start this as well. So one of it
That's
is
awesome.
as
If you
having a
don't mind me
YouTube
asking,
channel.
what's the passion?
So I love dancing. So it's always my dream to be a proper, Kathak or classical dancer. So I had taken 1 year classes, but then COVID happened and then back to studies. So it's always a trade-off if you like academics and always the extracurricular. So you have to manage or choose between one when the right time is there. So yeah. So the
That's
next
awesome.
question, yeah.
That's a really great passion, and that too, in this in the new world, somebody going for classical things, it's always inspiring.
Yeah. So the next question is most of the student ask like how to start even a Leetcode since you are an instructor S30 and you already taught a lot of students including me. So what could be the proper path or a plan for someone who is new to Leetcode or like competitive coding world? So how they can start?
The best way to start is to start.
True.
So a lot of one thing that is there in interview preparation or to achieve
Mhm.
any success in any of the tasks is that you keep procrastinating that I will
Mm.
start at this time, I'll start at that time. I think the best time to start, somewhere I read this, and best time to start was yesterday, and today is the best. Today is the second best time to start. So
Mhm.
if any of the audience members who are
Mhm.
planning to start with their journey, then the best thing is to firstly start. Don't worry about it. Don't worry whether it
Mhm.
is the right way of doing things, whether you will be learning, is this the best thing, what other people are thinking, whether you will be learning. We will calibrate those things down the line. First
Mhm.
thing is to just start, and that's why before getting into the technical things of the lead code, focus on developing a mindset,
Yeah.
focus on developing a psychology, that how you are going to proceed, you are going to face all the failures
Mhm.
in your journey, and then just take a deep dive. All right. So don't worry about the the progress is
Mhm.
never going to be the best. It's not
True.
going to be very
True.
smooth always. It's always going to be a bumpy ride in anything. So just take a deep dive and start and figure out the things on the way, rather than sitting on the fence and keep finding out great things. Does that answer your question? Like
Yeah,
how to?
and one more thing we had a discussion like in today's world, like the Gen Z generations and Alpha, like we have lot of resources available, but it's
Yes.
always like you should choose the right resource. So that's even like few months back, even I was juggling between so cyber sheet or this sheet, need code or what should I do? Like, and then one of my senior referred me as S30, and it's really organized. Like I learned a lot. Earlier, I used to be scared of the DP questions and all. Okay, I'm not able to solve it. This is too high level for me. But like after the lessons, I was able to. So to my audience, like we are not promoting, but again, it's the one of the best route that I have taken. So you guys can also refer S30 for your
Mhm.
learning. And even if you are using a different resource, that is also fine. So like I wanted to ask how S30 is different from, the other platforms because since I have experienced it on my own, I have my own view, but you are the founder, so I would love to know your view, like how you came up with the idea of S30 and
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm not different from you. I am also a student, right? So I was how S30 came into being was that I was a student who was preparing for the FANG interviews. All right. So because I had made to a couple of companies, I was not happy with them. I wanted to get into Google. All right. And that's when I it started as a group study. All right.
Okay.
So all
Yeah.
the things, all the resources which are there out there, they were there at that time in another form, maybe in another
Mhm.
form, but they were still there. All right. And one of the challenges that you have is that there are too many resources, and you keep juggling from one place to another place. You keep jumping from one resource to another resource, just to find yourself again back to square one.
Mhm.
That's why one of the good things and how we shaped up S30 was that it should be a coaching kind of environment. Solo learning motivation goes away. I told you, right?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
exhaustive. You after 1.5 months you are done, uh, and you again keep on starting from the same places, same topics, and nothing. The progress doesn't happen. So that's why we came up with this idea of having an organized coaching kind of environment.
Mhm.
Think what happened. How did you learn in school, in your
Mhm.
class 1 to class 10? How did you learn? How did you prepare for your competitive exams like IIT or JEE at that time?
Mhm.
So we, ha- I just replicated that model
Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
into interview preparation for the tech companies. How is it different? It's not very different. It's an organized, interactive,
Mhm.
where you can ask questions, we can discuss things, where you are sitting with the peers who are in the same boat. So probably, if somebody is going to take 2 years to get into FANG, to prepare to the level of FANGs, we do it very, very fast, because you
Mhm.
have an organized kind of environment. So we have 4 months program, 4 months
Mhm.
cohort, and the students join them, and they have classes every day. It's like a very intensive kind of program if you
Mm.
go through it. That's why we don't accept only the absolute beginners. We
Mm.
take the students who have at least started. Yes,
Yeah.
very stepping back to the thing that okay, they have started with the things, and then we take them and we run with them. So the main thing which is different, there are tons of resources out there,
Mhm.
but S30 is a platform which provides you a single source of truth. That okay, if
Mm.
you
Yeah.
we are the ones who raise our hand and say that if you do S30, then you will be in FANGs. And if you're consistent with S30, then you will surely be in FANGs. You don't need to go to any other resources because it's end to end. We do mock interviews also, we do content classes also, mock interviews also, and you're doing contests also. You're doing online assessments just like the ones that you get on HackerRank, and you are able to discuss it with your peers. You are able to clarify your doubts not only on the technical side, but the leadership principles also. That's how it is different. It is one place
One place. All
rather
in
than
one place you'll
many
get it.
many distributed things where you will be wasting a lot of time
Mm.
and energy, and you will be again coming back to square one. Aesthetic is a place where you
Mm.
make the progress actually.
Yeah. And I have seen it, I've experienced it my own as well. So yeah, and at the same time, like you mentioned about the peer group, so it's there, like you are average of five people around you, or you grow as your environment is there. If it is positive and people who are with the progressive mindset, you look at the things in that way. So
Yeah,
the
that's
peer group
absolutely.
is really matters like in the journey.
Yeah. And just to add to that, peer group is important, but the mentorship group also, because you are
Mm,
mock interviewing with some of the best engineers out there.
yeah,
Some of them
true.
are in FANGs. We cannot
Yeah.
reveal their names, but some of
Yeah.
them are actually in FANGs, and they are interviewing the students. And since they are S30 alumni also, they know how to mentor you. And
Yeah.
there is a sense of camaraderie or family
Mm.
among the group. So peer group as well as mentorship group is a recipe which is pretty tasty actually.
Yeah, and even I got introduced to S30 by one of my peer. He's working currently in Goldman Sachs, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, and he referred me. And there was one another senior. His friend is in Tesla, and
Hmm.
he also took the S30. And so there were a lot of my seniors were like, it just changed our world. Like earlier, we used to see Leetcode and DSA as okay, will not be able to do it, or is it too tough to crack? But with this and guided, plan and proper mock interviews, they were able to. So, like, thank you very much for having this platform because
No,
there are a
no,
lot of
thanks to
students.
all the yeah,
Yeah,
that is
like me.
thanks to you and all the students who have been referring. And I'll always say that it's sometimes overwhelming that so many students out there have been trusting us with their preparation. And if 90% of us, we don't have any advertising.
Yeah,
So 90% of our students
it's word of
come
mouth too. Yeah.
yeah, totally word of mouth and complete referrals. Like you have referred somebody, somebody would
Mhm.
refer you. Our job is to make people successful,
Yeah.
and we leave the word of mouth to them that okay, if we are making the students successful, then they will talk about us.
And like since you are teaching a lot of students and you were a student as well for DSA. So what were the common mistakes that one should avoid while like solving the questions? Because even I myself used to sometimes don't make notes. So that is one of the things that I realized, you should make notes. If you are having an interview day, you can always go back and refer to your notes and get the concepts clear. So what are the other mistakes that you see and you feel, okay, this can not be done, or this you can, prepare beforehand?
That's my favorite question. So I do have notes for that. I'll refer to them. I'll refer to them. All right. So there are five main things. There are too many things, but if you do these five things, if you focus on these five mistakes, then probably you will be able to mitigate all the issues. So first one is it's a mix of technical and the non-technical things. The first
Mm-hmm.
thing is the again circling back to the same thing that okay, you need to have the mindset. The one common mistake is the consistency is lacking among the students. So if they have done for 2 3 weeks, then they leave
Mm-hmm.
the interview preparation, or they feel that okay, it's not the perfect progress. All right. So they leave. Don't leave it. Even the bad progress or not perfect, no, bad is a very negative word. Even the not perfect progress is a great
Yes, sir.
progress
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to interview preparation. Uh, the second thing is the focus. They start focusing on a single day. They start focusing on too many things and too many problems. Human mind learns in packets, and you can
Mm-hmm.
absorb that much only. So I've seen students doing in first hour they are doing DP also, and then next hour they are doing fine research also, and then they are trying to do tries also without understanding too many things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that happens when you are alone and you are on your own,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I cannot do DP, maybe I can do fine research. That kind of
Exactly.
scenario happens with the students. Uh, and the other part of the thing is that comes into the mindset only is again and again coming back to the same topics because they are
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with that. Mind is
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with that. The second one is the technical point that how you solve the problems. So problem solving has to be exhaustive. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that you have to do 1,000 problems, but if you take one problem, you have to exhaustively think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to think about all the possible solutions of a problem. So
Mm-hmm.
what students do is on most of the platforms or wherever they will be listening to one solution.
Yeah.
That is not the way that that their performance is calibrated in the tech companies.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that the tech companies are looking for is your width, brute
Mm-hmm.
force, suboptimal, a little bit more
Optimal.
optimal,
Mm-hmm.
most optimal, and in the most optimal also you can have different scenarios. So developing the width first is very important
Mm-hmm.
rather than just focusing on the vertical lines, that is the depth of one solution that I can do it with a priority queue and that's
Mm-hmm.
it. I got the solution.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you
Yeah.
can do it with some other technique also. Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
can, rather than doing DP in one of the
Mm-hmm.
favorite problems of mine, rather than doing DP you can just do by research. All right. So not exploring all the possible solutions is a mistake that the students do. The third thing is one of the things that the students think is that they are bad at coding. They are good at problem solving. They know the
Yeah.
algorithms, but they are bad at coding, and that's a common feeling that they get.
Mm-hmm.
It's never the coding; it's always the problem itself. It's always the algorithm that you are still lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So, how why do the students say that is that they will understand some part of the probable solution of the problem
Mm-hmm.
and they get to the coding
Yeah. It
and
happens.
they have not thought exhaustively about the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That end to end I have to think and I just need to translate my thoughts as far as coding is concerned. They
Mm-hmm.
get stuck in the coding and think that it's the coding is the problem. It's not the coding, it's still the algorithm, it's still the data structures and algorithm preparation which is lacking. Then, this is a contentious point. This is a little bit unpopular opinion also.
Mm-hmm.
During their preparation, one of the things that the students rely is using some unfair means.
Yeah.
All right. So
True.
if you are using the unfair means, the interviewer knows.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has already done 100 interviews, 200 interviews. You can use chat gpt, you can do everything. For example, one of my mock interviewer who is an interviewer at Amazon also, and he told that there is this student, he was not able to explain the solution and suddenly he came up with the code, and then I asked him to explain his code
Okay.
and he was not able to explain the code. It's very
Mm.
easy to catch
Yeah.
somebody who's making using the unfair means. So that is a mistake that you do, that
Mm-hmm.
that the students do, that using some unfair means. Another one is not focusing on this thing or over relying on your brain power. For example,
Mm,
when you are a new student, they just keep looking and exploring that I should be able to come up with an algorithm by myself.
mm,
Um, you know, it took a lot of time for people to develop all these
mm,
algorithms. Firstly, you
mm,
have to be a little bit humble and you have to build the inventory in your mind. You cannot be a Shakespeare without learning ABC, right?
true.
So focus on building the inventory in one and a
Mhm,
half to 2 months, and then start expecting that you will be able to solve all the problems by yourself.
mhm,
Just by understanding that, oh, this is binary set that I have to divide the array into two halves and I have to search on the left half or the right half, that is not going to give you a full insight into all the binary search patterns.
mhm.
The problems are going to follow different patterns, and you have to have seen that pattern
Before solving it.
so that you can come up with the solution of the same similar pattern problems.
Mm,
So that is a mistake that the students do, that keep wasting a lot of time thinking about the problem without building the inventory in their mind.
mm,
So all these four, five,
mhm.
I think, are the common mistakes that I see among the students. There may be others. What you thought?
I
Uh,
mean, it's one of the things that I learned is to, start doing whiteboarding. Just even if you are, because that's where I was lacking as well. So I used to just jump on, okay, this subsection I understood, let's code it. So it wasted a lot of time, but like since I have taken the classes, so now how I approach it. So I still have the small whiteboard and the marker with me. Okay, this is what the question is saying, and then first I'll write the pseudocode on the whiteboard, and then when I approach to a problem, it is easy because now you have to just code. You have figured out the logic. So that's one
yeah, I
of the
totally
things.
totally missed that part.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
I
So
can
so
see the
whiteboard.
whiteboard behind as well.
Yeah, whiteboard is behind me, but the whiteboard is mandatory for students also in
Yeah,
S30, if you know that.
yeah,
That if they have to walk into it, they have to do it. And
the
it's
whiteboard.
primarily because they are able to use it's people see whiteboard as a tool. We see it as a strategic um, resource for them so that they are able to visualize the things and those patterns that they get imprinted in your mind if you are drawing the things, and your communication becomes really better.
Yeah,
Even if
true.
somebody is going to use whiteboard in the actual interview, it's the communication part which they
Hmm.
will be developing because they have been drawing the figures on the whiteboard, which is going to really help them in the back interviews. So yeah, I totally agree with you that whiteboard is one of the great way of whiteboarding is whether it's going to be your actual interview is going to be on whiteboard or not. You should be using a whiteboard.
Yeah. And then other than the like coding part, we always focus on the projects as well. So like you should have a good projects in your resume to reflect, okay, this is what you have learned and you have come up with the idea of this project. So like what kind of projects a student should have in their resume? There were a lot of questions. Okay, I have done the, Android, or can I build an Android app, and I'm doing coding as well. So I'm like, you need to be stick to one thing. So,
So, when I read a lot of resumes and I see, some common projects that the students have
mhm,
done, and it just, start looking at the resumes and you'll see that the things are repeating and people are just writing the things. So, the best way to choose the projects is not to look at what people have built, but what you want to build by yourself.
mhm,
All right, and build it, no matter how difficult it is. You know,
mhm.
I still remember in my 2018, I wanted to build actual Netflix, uh, uh, like
Okay.
a Netflix for regional movies, and I did it,
Mhm.
built it end to end. Authentication, built the back end, I built the front end also. I had real users for it. I had a
Mhm.
payment gateway integrated with it, uh, and I people start a project and they leave it, then we go to the next project.
Yeah,
That's not
that happens.
that's not going to help. That's not going to help. Take one project, Even if you're spending 3 months, 4 months on it, that's totally fine. Keep on going deep into it. Keep on going. Think, take the customer perspective
Mm.
that what would they like to see? Build that thing. No matter how tough it is, whether it is out of your technical capabilities, go for it,
Mhm.
figure it out. In that figuring out, you will be learning so much than just looking at a project which is already made by
Alright.
somebody.
Yeah.
In that, once you get stuck and you will figure out those things, you will be able to talk about those things in the interview.
Mm. Yeah.
And that is going to tell the interviewer, oh, he figured it out. In the
Mm.
real world also, he'll be able to figure it out. So think of the project as a startup that you are building and go for
Mm.
it.
Yeah, it's
Keep
always, I
on.
guess, the solution to common problems. Like if you can solve a common problem, then it will be very
Yeah.
useful. Like we are seeing in this world, okay, somebody just come up with this idea that is just solving the common problem. So they were in Shark Tanks also. I'm seeing some of the videos, and they just came up with a very, bed bugs things or something that's very common problem, and they solved it with their tools and all. And I'm like, okay, that's really nice. So there was one of it, like they came up with some ideas for electric light. So they you can just paste it on a wall. So you do not need to carry and it is foldable. And I'm like, that's
Yes.
a common problem, and they came up with the solution, and now they are running a company or so. Yeah, it's I
That's
guess
totally,
on.
and you should be approaching the projects with a similar mindset also.
Mm,
You don't need to make money with it, but you need to be, just take the customer perspective and build it, rather than just building some of the things. Probably
yeah,
be more exhaustive in a single project rather than that. I have done machine learning project also. I have done data science project also. I've done front end
yeah,
project also. Just focus on a few things, but uh, bring bring really great things out of those few things.
yeah. And since like last question that I'm having, like we covered everything almost. Like, what would be
Mhm.
the advice that you can give to students like me? I'm still learning, and for my audience, so what would be that piece of advice that you would love to give everyone who are starting on this journey and looking forward to make their career? So yeah.
So, okay, let me divide it into two parts. One is before you get into a good tech company, and then after you get
After
into
you.
a good tech company.
Hmm.
All right, so before you get into a tech company, a lot of students are a lot of students wish for this thing that they get into a good company with luck or without any preparation. All right.
Mm.
So, if you want to be successful, then you have to bite the bullet. You have to do
Yeah.
data structures and algorithms, and you have to be good at system design also. Now, system
Mm.
design is also very critical. So, if you want to be good at something, you will have to put in the hard work.
Mm.
All right. So, best way is have a consistent preparation, organized, um, in a team kind of environment where
Mm.
you can listen to the other uh, differing ideas also about a single problem. All right.
Mhm.
And do 250 problems, 300 problems, learn, understand all the patterns,
Mhm.
do the mock interviews,
Mhm.
and then reach out to the people.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do it other way around. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
they reach out to the people, and once they'll get
Yeah.
the interview, they'll start preparing too.
Yeah, that's don't do it in the other way around, and that's what you should be doing.
Mm.
And the second thing is before you get into a good tech company is you cannot do too many things. That you have a on-campus job also. You
Mm.
are doing front-end interview preparation also. You are targeting startups also. You are going into machine learning also. You are going into data science also. You are going into software engineering. So choose your path
Mhm.
and then focus on that path only and prepare data structures and algorithms and go for the good tech companies where the chances of success are more rather than the startups. So now assuming that you have done a great preparation and out of 5 interview calls, you should be able to get at least 2, 3 offers. Negotiate, good. Go into the tech company, and will be focusing on day-to-day jobs, or you will be contributing to your teams. Of course, you should be focusing on that. The second thing, that is, don't leave the preparation part. Once you leave
Mm.
it, the leakage happens.
Yeah.
And I have seen a lot of experienced engineers, after today only we posted about a student who is at Amazon, and he's going to Meta, because human psychology is that it always wants to level up. You will be going
Yeah.
to a good tech company, there is always a better one. So keep yourself sharp always. Again,
Mm.
that the same monster that you are trying to avoid, you will not be able to
Yeah.
avoid.
Yeah.
You'll have to do data structures and algorithms. All right. So keep yourself sharp. It's a great um, data structure. Leetcode is a great way of calibrating
Mhm.
somebody's problem solving skills, which is totally parallel to what you will be doing as an engineer. You will be solving problems. All right. A lot
Mhm.
of people think of them like binary trees or tries.
Yeah.
Binary trees or tries or algorithms are just problem solving techniques. All right.
Mhm.
So if you have real world computer science problem, you will be doing the similar kind of things out there. So don't leave your preparation. Keep on doing the preparation, and level up.
Mm. Got it.
Don't
Yeah.
don't think that, oh, I am in Amazon now. Now my life is
No,
set.
yeah. True.
So do level up. So these are the two suggestions that I have. Uh, I don't have many technical suggestions,
Yeah, got
but
it.
I have a lot of soft suggestions.
Yeah. And thank you very much for your time. This has been amazing conversation. And to all those who are figuring out what is a study, so I'll provide the links, his LinkedIn profile link, everything in the comment box or everywhere. So you can reach out to him. I'll share his mail ID as well for any of the doubts. And if you are willing to join S30, we'll provide the promo codes as well. So don't worry about it. If you are looking to make career in this domain, so we'll be always there to help you. So thank you very, very much for your time and your experiences that you have shared. It will be very useful for all of us. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Tanvi, on this platform. And it's a great initiative that you have for mentoring the students, listening to all the experiences of great engineers. I was really impressed with it. And to all the audience members, if you want to reach out, irrespective whether you want to join S30 or not, it's fine. You can reach out to me for any kind of mentorship.
Yep. Thank you very much. Yeah. So
Thank